Morning. Oh.
Hey, good morning. Oops. Oh, the big boy's out there. Hit him with the thing. Hey, everybody. Good morning. A couple people just jumped on. Jeff Willis, Meredith. Meredith is always there. Good morning, Meredith.
Tell Meredith I keep looking for her first restaurant sign up.
Yeah. There is Legacy Rideshare. Welcome, William. Good morning from Fairfax. Mr. Vasquez, good morning. Some of you are probably wondering why I have this patch on my head. You know, I'll tell you guys in a minute. And my eyes a little swelled up here. No, I wasn't in a fight.
Is that what someone said?
Something like that. No, it was much more benign than that. I've been taking to rest. Oh, talking to friends, giving out flyers, calling. So far, have not said yes, but I'm pretty sure a couple of them will. Hey, Art. Good morning.
Oh, Christina's on. Hi, Christina. Christina Nava.
Good morning.
And Peggy Day Sal. Hi, Peggy.
Oh, Peggy's on?
Yeah.
Hey, Peggy. Fire up Seattle. You got Santiago up there working it already.
Los Angeles. Olga.
So everybody, let's see. We got, give it a couple more minutes. We got, hey, Michael.
David
from Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah.
And there's Peggy. Hey. Patrick Santiago from Bremerton.
Where's Bremerton?
Bremerton's right next to Seattle.
Oh, okay.
It's where the Navy base is up there.
Oh. Phoenix.
Greater Phoenix. Hey, Bill.
Good morning, David.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Wow.
When will Orlando Market open?
Well, I'm gonna get into that with you guys. They'll open as soon as you get it open. Yeah. Yeah, you just got to get a bunch of restaurants signed up. There's people doing really good jobs, and some of you are still waiting. But we'll get started here in a moment. We're starting to get people filling out. Good morning, Pam Tripp. Pam is in the lead. Just so you guys know, Pamela is #1 in the country. Signed up more restaurants than anybody. She's still knocking out 1 or 2 a day.
Everybody wants to know Pam's secret.
Yeah, Pam's secret is she's got all her marketing materials together. She goes door to door. She knocks on the door, talks to the people, and she's such a good salesperson. They sign up with her.
She really does. If you look on the map, it looks like she really just walks down the street and signs them up.
She looks like she knocks door to door to every restaurant. It's amazing. Hey, Christina Nava, how are you?
Oh, so sorry. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Sorry,
Blue Diamond, hi
Christina.
team. Well, let's get started. I want to go over a few things with you guys. First of all, on the patch. So underneath there's about 70 stitches. So I have spent a lot of time in my youth in the sun. So every now and then I get, it's called precancerous cells. So they have to go in and cut them out. So I had this done on Monday, and I have the stitches that'll come out on this Monday. So it's not a big deal. It's just a pain in the butt because, 70 stitches in your forehead is not cool. So you can see where the blood has run down into my eye here.
And it was closed yesterday.
Yeah, it was closed. So just getting back to normal. So we'll be hit, excuse me, pretty hard this week. You guys let me up a little bit this week. I didn't do any other calls at all. Not that I didn't want to do them, but I felt everybody was doing pretty well. I was in touch with a lot of people in the field. So there's no need for me to jump on a call knowing that we're going to do today. So let me follow up with a couple things right now that's really important. I like to acknowledge people that are out there in the field that are doing a great job. So 2 people I want to acknowledge is Daniel Kearney and Joe Jones in North Carolina. Both signed up their first restaurants. And Daniel Kearney was so excited. He thought he's got another 5 or 6 or 7 restaurants that he can sign up right away. Furo's done a bunch. Rodney Bush in Nashville. Walter Thullow. Scott Jones is knocking it out of the park. He's just behind Pamela. And the two big guns that are starting to show it is Patrick Santiago and Noel Casimiro. Those guys are going to open up Las Vegas and Seattle. Now that Peggy's on, Peggy's going to help them open Seattle. It's not open. These markets are not just one-off for people. It's how do you get a team motivated to get out there? A team of 10 or 15, you could light up 400 or 500 restaurants in 2 or 3 weeks. That's all it would take to get open. So Las Vegas, for example, Noel and Patrick started teaming up. Now they got a couple more guys that are going to open these markets with them. So they're starting to team up. So I told them that I expect them to get Las Vegas open and Seattle open the next 4 weeks. If they just take and build their teams that they've got and put 10 or 12 salespeople out there, they'll kill it. Las Vegas alone, just in the Las Vegas proper, not counting Henderson or North Las Vegas, there's about 4,500 restaurants alone, not counting the outer markets, probably another 2,000 to 3,000 restaurants easily. There's 2 million people in Las Vegas. So it's a very rich environment for restaurants. The restaurant business is doing pretty well here for the COVID. There's a lot of outsourcing or delivery business. So those are the things you look for in the market. Seattle's the same way. Santiago is working the Bremerton, kind of the outer market, not so much inside Seattle. So that's wide open. And there's tons of restaurants in Seattle. I haven't been up there in the last year, but I know, there's just terrific restaurants up in Seattle market. Also want to give a shout out to Jeff Willis from Costa Mesa. He's knocking it out. And we have actually another guy that I've been in touch with the last couple of days who's signed up as a driver, who's actually going to hire a dozen college students, and he's paying them on top of the bonus they're getting and to go open restaurants. He's put all his marketing materials together, QR codes, the whole 9 yards. So he's going to hit the Orange County market with probably a dozen salespeople on the ground pounding away starting next week. So those are the things that are going on around the country. We've got to work the Miami market. There's still not much going on there right now. I mean, there's a little bit, but there's people in that market. There's 18,000 people signed up in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach market. So any of the people that are in that market need to get in touch with your frontline people. Also, I just saw Ruby. I want to shout out to Ruby Ruiz from Hawaii. Ruby, I want you to get in touch with Patrick Santiago because he's also from Hawaii, lives in Seattle right now, but he has a lot of contacts there, and he'd like to get going with you and whoever else is in that market, in the Hawaii market, to get that market open.
And I want to come visit Ruby.
Yeah, Ruby.
So get it open.
Amy and I are going to show up at your doorstep.
I've never been to Hawaii. I want to go.
Yeah. So that's what's going on in the sales side of the business. Also, I think I told you guys last week that William Mathis was down in Florida, and I saw that he was up in the East Coast. He's been working that really hard to get momentum going in some of these markets. So let me give you some systems updates. The marketer program is done. It's sitting on development. It's been fully tested. The reason we haven't launched it, we have 2 other products that are being worked on. And every time we make a change in the app or anything that we do, we have to refile with ISO and also Android. So we just left it on development. We've got the restaurant flow being finished up. We sent the last documentation over yesterday to them. So hopefully that'll be done Monday or Tuesday. As soon as that's done, we're going to push everything live. So all of it comes up at one time. It'll be nice and clean, and you'll be ready to go. There'll be nothing slowing you down on this when you're ramping up the business and sign up restaurants. The flow will go easier. And we're learning some things that Art's going to be doing internally as a white glove program goes. As you know, we have what's called a white glove program. So the way a restaurant gets onboarded is they get onboarded through the restaurant dashboard that Courtney Sherman manages that process. Then she'll upload the menus. She'll be doing all the things to get that in the gear. Then it goes over to Art and his team, which is a white glove team. They will call the restaurant. They will talk to the restaurant. They will get information. How many deliveries do you do a day? What POS system you're on if you are. All those kinds of information that help us. So when we open the market, we can get them instantly onboarded, up and running. We're working on the 4 or 5 or 6 major POS integrations right now. That's a process. Probably won't get 100% done for another 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But that's okay because you're not going to need them right away. But it's a process with those people. There's a lot of integration that has to go on with that. So we're just leaving that to the end. He may be stuck. Okay.
Somebody wrote that they are waiting for their approval. Juan Patarroyo. Juan, if you could give me your email address here on the chat. I'm trying to check it right now with Evelyn. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
We're multitasking.
Yeah, they're working to take care of that problem. Just so you know what happened, when we had early signups to clear the background search, we were hooked up to the background search, but we had to enter that information manually. And then what came on board about 2 weeks later was the automation portion of that. So what happened is the day before we went to automation, they actually turned on the automation. We didn't know that. So we pushed through some of the manual processes the day before or the day of the automation. So it got conflicted in the system. It froze up probably a couple dozen people. I think most of it's been cleared up. The automation is very cool because I actually signed up as a driver. I think most of you know it took me less than 5 minutes to sign up. It took about 6-7 minutes to get approval. It was very, very cool. Had no problem at all. Not one single glitch at all through the system. And we're doing what's called an SDK. So it'll speed up the approval process on the back end once that's connected this week. You won't see any difference other than the speed of an approval. The approval will get done probably in 2 to 3 minutes instead of the 6 to 7, 8 minutes right now.
I just want to tell you, it's not a couple dozen people, it's like 6.
Oh, okay.
So it's like really not
it's
a
like
lot of
6 people that were
and then if
stuck.
one's stuck, then it's 7. It's really not a lot.
Yeah.
It's just once the automation came on, those people, we can't kick them back into the automation. So we just have to go in and work with our programming. Basically, you're already approved, but some of you are even getting a message that you're approved, but it's just, you can't go any further than there. So we are aware. And if you are having a problem, if you could send it into support at TripDelivers.com, and then we'll be able to fix it for you Sunday night. So Monday you will be all good to go, but you have to let us know. We just need your email address so that we can get it done for you.
Okay, so there's a few, one of the things we have to do is make sure we get the messaging right. And the way we do that is have training sessions 2 days a week for English speaking and 2 days a week for Spanish. That message is being delineated to the field in the form of a PowerPoint discussion training. That training is usually 30 to 45 minutes. That information is posted on our YouTube. You can reach that in your back office by just clicking on videos. Takes you right to our YouTube, and you just have to search the video for what you're looking for. If you knew it was on last week's training, then you just go to last week's training or whatever one you want to look at. But it's important to get the message right because there seems to be a lot left out in the translation of what has to take place to sign up a restaurant.
We're working on also the YouTube videos. We're going back and adding titles and descriptions. So it'll be easier for you. It won't just say training on the date. So you'll have more of a descriptor of what the videos, and that should be done this week. Yeah,
so it'll be so let's say the video is 35, 40 minutes long. It'll be broken into 2 or 3 or 5 minute segments, and it'll talk about what's in that segment. So it could be how to onboard a restaurant. It could be how do I sign up a driver? Whatever that training is, it'll be broken down inside that information. So it's easier to index for yourself to find that information. Another question we got a couple times in the last day or so about flyers. Pamela showed how she's done hers. We've had a number of people, even had Michael Rispala. I probably would butchered Michael's last name. I'm sorry, Michael. Recalvis. And Michael has offered to help you guys put flyers together, no charge. He's an SEO expert. In fact, he was part of the call last week, just giving you guys a little brief information on how to make if you have a web page or whatever you're doing to make your product more effective. You can reach him at Michael@businessopportunities.com. So just email him if you have some questions. He's there to help for free. He's not looking to make any money on it. He's been extremely helpful to the company on just a lot of little things that we overlooked as a company on SEO kinds of things, and he's working on getting that stuff done. That's about all I have this week. Everybody's been really working hard and on board. I'll look and see if there's a couple of questions. You see anything?
David, I don't understand his question. Could we have a list of those questions to prepare them for the corporate call? What do you mean, David? I don't know what you mean.
There's a FAQs. So there's a list of FAQs which have quite Q&A on those.
And we update those weekly.
Every
all your questions.
every week we update, we add new questions to it as we see new ones come along that make sense for us to put on there.
We're adding a new section called Restaurant FAQ because you guys are asking questions. This question, Blue Diamond, can we pay reverse pay for the first 90 days for restaurants once market is open?
What's reverse pay?
I don't know what that means, but you get paid commission off of the restaurant, what they pay. So if you're asking not to take your commission, I don't understand the question.
Yeah.
My client is asking, how do we do the integration of the POS, and are we using Checkmate Gateway?
We use a number of gateways on the integration for POS. It's basically an API application that we connect to. And then when, so let's say you're a restaurant and you use Toast, then we'd have the API already pre-set up, pre-designated. We have our tech team then connect that restaurant to Toast if it's Toast, or it could be Aloha, could be any number of those that we would connect to. It's very easy process. It's nothing that's, showstoppers to get these to work. There's tens, hundreds of thousands, maybe more, or millions of different restaurants and other kinds of businesses hooked up to a lot of these POS systems.
So Peggy said Pam should do a training. So was it 2 Saturdays ago that Pam was on YouTube?
Yeah, Pam was on YouTube and she walked through all of her materials that she built. I think the thing that was astounding to me is the depth of what she built with the QR codes and all of that. You can see that she's skilled as a marketer. She's skilled and disciplined to make sure before she ever went on the street, she had all of her information there. And she was very well prepared to do what she's done. But you can go back and look at that video. It's 2 Saturdays ago.
Yeah, it's really good. She's got all different kinds of flyers. And David Gibson, how many restaurants is the goal?
What market is he in?
I don't know. I think it might be in Miami, actually.
Yeah, so rule of thumb is a market like Las Vegas or Atlanta or Houston or Miami, all of those could have easily, if you work the market, you could easily sign up 800 to 1,000 restaurants in 45 days. If you have a team of people doing it easily. The rule of thumb is about 10% of the market we should sign up. So if there's 8,000, 10,000 restaurants in those markets, you should be able to sign up at least 10% of those. So if it's 8,000, it's 800 restaurants. We will open the restaurant prior to you getting 800 restaurants on board. If we see, so I keep talking about a hockey stick, and we see you're trending towards 500, 600, we'll open the market and bring on the drivers, start really advertising heavily in the markets and driving consumer use.
I think it was Bruno said they don't know what a hockey stick is.
Oh.
They don't understand that.
Okay. So a big sharp curve that goes up, like this. That's a hockey stick.
Like 0 to 1,000.
Yeah. So you'll see the trend right away. And hey, good morning, Joe Jones. Sorry guys, I just wanted to say hi. I didn't want to miss him. But you'll see the trend right away. And what happens with a trend like that, it'll motivate you to do more. You'll get out there and do more because you start to see results. I think a lot of the people that are still sitting on the sidelines, waiting for everybody to get going, they're afraid to get out there and they're afraid of rejection. So the people that are going to win are the people that are not afraid of rejection, or if they're afraid, they will compensate for that by getting out there and becoming fearless about how they attack a market. Once you get one signed up, the rest become pretty easy. You get the rejections. People will tell you you guys are new, so how do we know you're going to be around, or you're not going to run off with the money? We don't touch the restaurant's money, just so you guys understand that. We issue the restaurant their own merchant account. So the money flows from the consumer directly to the restaurant merchant. We're not like Grubhub or Uber Eats or any of those guys where they control the funds for 5 or 6 days. The funds go from the consumer directly to the restaurant. The merchant account is set up by the restaurant, not by us. We have no control over those funds at all. So you have to understand that when you're selling this product, make that restaurant understand, hey, we don't even hold your money. You get your money in the first 24 hours, okay? And it comes directly to you. It doesn't come to the company at all.
And just to piggyback on the back of that, so like Bob and I have ordered food. I won't tell you the name, but they mess up a lot. And you call Postmates and you say, well, I didn't get my food. And they'll say, what? You didn't pick it up? Anyway, so you go through Postmates when you have a problem. For our system, you will not go through Postmates when you have the problem. You will have to contact the restaurant. The consumer, the customer will have to contact the restaurant directly if there's a problem with their food, because they're the ones that have their money. So that's something else you need to communicate, because they'll be calling Trip and we'll say, oh, you have to contact the restaurant because they're in charge of your money. So
Pam has a question, and it has to do with there was a problem this week on signups not being generated in the back office. I'm assuming that's been fixed. Yeah.
It's fixed, Pam.
Yeah.
If anybody else thinks they're having a problem.
It go? Did you check in her back office? Does it show up?
Yeah, no, it always did. It was just, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine. I just double checked. I thought she was maybe having a problem, but it's not. Okay. So, but if you feel that there's people that are missing, just give them.
Yeah. One of the things that people keep telling us, hey, I had 5 people sign up, but I don't see them in my back office. Well, we have their names, and we go in, look in the database, and they're not there. If they're not there, they didn't sign up. A lot of people will tell you, and this is my experience a lot. People say, oh, yeah, I signed up. They'll tell you that. Or they'll even tell me that they signed up, and I go look in the database.
Or they send Bob a list of 100 people, and they say, all these people should be under me. And then we give them to Evelyn, and Evelyn looks up. We can only look it up by phone number or email. Right. That's the identifier, because there's, people, there's other Bob McNulty's out there. So we need your email and phone number. And I think out of that 100, there was like 5 of those people. So people maybe aren't actually signing up. They're telling you they're signing up, but they're not. We can't. Their phone number, email's not in the system. Right. So. Right.
So if you want to make sure somebody signed up with you, you need to work with them when they're signing up to make sure they actually did sign up.
Yeah. Say, hey, give me your phone and do it for them.
Yeah.
Bill Swartz. Amy, you just posted a restaurant breakdown on Facebook. Can you do the same for drivers? Yes, I would do that today.
Okay.
Blue Diamond says, where can I find business cards?
Okay, you can find the business cards if you go to the gear store in the bottom of the homepage. It says gear store. You can go in there and you'll see a template for business cards. However, they're not cheap like the ones you find at Vistaprint. So if you don't know what you want, you can go look at the card, take a picture of it, and then you can go on Vistaprint and order, 500 cards for $10 or something like that. Excelsior admin, South Florida is where there is a lot of fraud. So restaurants are reluctant. Can you help us? If a restaurant, first of all, the average restaurant in South Florida is doing about 70 to 75 deliveries a day. So multiply that times 40 cents. If that restaurant was yours, that's what you'd be making a day on one restaurant. So that's significant. That's a lot higher than the normal averages. I can't do anything about the fraud and all that stuff. But if somebody's got 75 orders a day in a restaurant and they're spending 30 to 40% more to have somebody pick those up, then they'd be insane not to sign up with you, because it costs them nothing to sign up other than the activation fee. They'll save that in within a couple of deliveries. If they're averaging $50, you can see the amount of money that they're, if you take percent or 40% and it's a $50 bill, you can see how fast that adds up to the restaurant. So you just have to be armed with knowledge. Hey, here's the kinds of savings you're going to experience with Trip, as opposed to what you're doing with any of the other normal characters that are out there in the restaurant delivery business.
Have individuals asking if they still need to submit driver documents if they're using a bike for delivery.
So what's the answer?
Well, they go in and they sign up as a bike.
Yeah.
And they won't have to put in a registration.
Yeah, there's nothing to put in on a bike.
Right.
All you have to do is prove up who you are.
It's still has to go through our automation.
Right.
And so we still have proof of documents. So if something did happen later with the bike or whatever, so they still have to go through the approval process.
Yeah, we actually have a couple dozen bikes that are signed up already. Yeah. Probably most of those are in, heavily trafficked areas like New York City, et cetera.
Evelyn had the question if these are really bikes.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, good morning, TC. How's things in Minneapolis?
Okay, David Gibson, clarification. The questions call corporate will make to the restaurant. Oh, can we prep them so they know what the questions that Art's going to be asking when he calls the white glove team?
What about it?
What are the questions?
Well, the questions they're going to ask is how many deliveries do you have a day? One is also
what's the POS?
Yeah, what's the POS integration? So which one do they have? So if they have Toast or one of these, he'll mark it down. So we know in advance how many people we have that are in Toast or these or that. So it makes it easier for us as we start to go down the road of integration. And then the other thing that we want to do is we want to leverage each of these restaurants, because all of them at some point have between 2,000 and 10,000 people as customers or Facebook fans or Instagram, whatever. They have tons of people they can reach out to. So we want to be able to reach out to those people through them. So that's the reason for the restaurateur to download the app and then refer that out to all of their customers. And that's how you start building their business for them. So that's really important to understand. Let's see. Bill is Ordermark, one of the restaurant's integration platforms is Trip. Bill is Ordermark. I guess you're saying Ordermark is one of the API, one of the integrations platforms. That it's not what Trip is using. We adapt to anybody's platform. So we will integrate Toast or Aloha or any of these major, even
there's a whole list
not Stripe, but Square. So Square is a big user. So we just integrate all of their pieces into us through the API. So when we connect the restaurant up, we just go through the API itself, connect the restaurant up. So it's like Toast. Okay. It just depends on Ordermark. I don't know. I haven't really looked them up to see how many restaurants they have in their system. They could have, a small amount. They could have 10,000, up 50,000, 100,000. I don't know. But if they're significant, we will probably hook into their API. But I'll check on that for you. So next Saturday, I'll have an answer for you. Let me jot that down.
Peggy wanted to know which one was the YouTube. Yeah, it's with Pam. I believe I'm looking right now. I think that was September 12th. That was 2 Saturdays ago. Yeah, it's the Coffee with Bob from September 12th, I think, Peggy.
Okay.
Is there a place to access our referral links straight from the back office on desktop? No. Currently, you can only get your referral links, Ruth, on your app. We are a mobile application, and maybe eventually in the future, I don't know if we're planning on putting them in the background.
Also, that none of her people have been signed up.
Okay.
So you want to reach out to her after.
Okay.
Pam, Amy's going to reach out to you afterwards, see what the issue is there.
Yeah. Okay. So you heard Ruth about the referral links in the back office on the desktop.
What's the matter with them?
There are none. They're on the app. We're a mobile application.
Yeah.
So they're on the app, so you can share them straight from your app.
Right.
And then if you want to, you can always email them to yourself.
You can send them to yourself. You can connect a QR code to them if you like. So you can send that out on a QR code. There's a lot of ways to do it yourself. But again, we're a mobile application company, so that would not reside in your back office.
Joe Jones, good morning. He has a gentleman that has 4 food trucks that are located at 4 different permanent locations around the city. Can he sign them up?
Absolutely.
As long as they don't move, Joe.
Actually, just so you know, there's 250,000 food trucks in the United States, and we definitely plan on going after that market. But again, we want to get the markets open first, in the traditional sense, getting these restaurants onboarded and get them going. But you can, if they're stationary trucks and you want to sign them up, that's great.
Brew Diamond, reverse pay is pay on the restaurant costs for their first 90 days from my own funds. So that's really not the way it works. We're not like layaway or anything. So They pay $1 now,
Okay.
and then when the market opens, they'll pay the balance of $148.99. And then if they choose to be a member, they can also pay at that when the market opens, $99.99.
Right.
So you make commission out of the $149
And the 99.
and the $99. So we'll be paying you commission. We can't do layaway. Like I'm sorry. It's already so cheap. If you go and look at any of the other companies,
they're at least twice.
They think that they're not paying, but they don't understand that they're paying on every order to them. So in about 1 day on us, couple days, they'll make back their $149. So it's.
Eris also is asking, some restaurants are asking, do you have what restaurants are signing up around the market in the US? We do have that. We will not publish that until we actually open a market.
It will be on your app. You'll be able to see.
You'll be able to see all the restaurants on the app. So will they. But we don't publish that until the market's open and those people have paid for the integration or the tap. I think that if you're relying on somebody else to close a deal because somebody else has signed up, then you're not selling this. I mean, I would refer you to Pam. I don't think she worries about that. She goes in and goes for the, the sale itself, sell the merits of the product. Relying on who you've got signed up, And by the way, we are working on some fairly significant side franchisees out there in the marketplace. And once those get inked, then we'll announce those probably at some point.
They're asking if Pam can do another training.
You'll have to ask Pam. Pam, you're turning into a rock star. They want you to do a training, which I love. And she did a phenomenal job. If you go look at the video that she was presenting, and she was in her car at the time. She pulled over, I guess, and had everything ready to show us. Our one company paid $560 a day to Uber Eats, and with us it would be $100. Well, there you go. I mean, they sign up and they save $460 in a day. So that's significant. That's not. I mean, just multiply 460 times 365, and you'll find out how much money in a year you save. That restaurant saves. That's if they're working 7 days a week. They may be only working 5 days a week or 6 days. But now you have a real number that somebody has that they can save.
Maria says, what about the ones that signed up since the beginning and now they signed up again with someone else?
That's their choice. If they want to sign up and spend more. I mean, I don't know people that want to spend more. I think it's to you to show them what they're going to save and let them know. Here's what the numbers look like. What you're not doing is selling the attributes. One, they get their money within 24 hours. Okay, the money goes direct to them. My dogs are going crazy. So the money goes directly to them, and it doesn't come to us. So they control all their money. They get their money within 24 hours. So that makes it easy for them to start thinking about making a change. It's pretty simple. Oh, wow, I get my money in 1 day or less. I'm now waiting 4 or 5 days, and I have no control over my money. They mark up the menu 30, 40%, cost me out of pocket. So all of those things do matter. That's why we built the business model the way we built it. Flat fee. It's very easy for them to figure out. They're doing 50 orders a day. It's at $2 an order. It's $100 a day. So those are the kind of numbers that you can look at. My dogs just came back. Believe it or not, they went to school for 6 weeks, not to bark, and there they go. So anyway, so let me see. Let me take a couple more. Bill said Pam is a true rock star. She is. She's killing it. Hey, Terry Brown, how are you? Oh, glad to hear the kids are home. Yeah, I miss them big time. Let's see. Excelsior said something if they process it on the weekend. They process 24/7, so they do batch processing. So weekends, it doesn't really matter. They don't hold money over the weekends. Unless it's something that I don't know about, but ours are supposed to be, within 24 hours, money gets it. Marketer program, like I said a few minutes ago, Miles, the marketer program is done. It's on the development server. It's been totally tested. Everything's working. We're just not going to launch it by itself because then we'd have to update the apps again. We have to send them to iOS. We have to send them to Android. And then a day later or 2 days later, we're going to have to send the restaurant flow. And then they have to update those. And it's another day or two. We're just going to wait till it's all done Monday or Tuesday, send them all over at the same time, and then turn them on. It just makes it a lot easier than trying to piecemeal each time. Oh, no worries, Mile. But it's a good question.
So in Pam's case,
yeah.
So what she's saying is the sister signed up. But when we looked at the sister's phone number,
yeah.
it wasn't in the system.
I got you.
So that's where we are having, I don't know how to help.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Any other questions for you guys? Let's say we've been going for about 35 minutes. I don't want to take up everybody's time. Let's see. Meredith, does the restaurant refer as a restaurant, or does he create his own personal account? He can refer as a restaurant if he likes, which is good for him because it's all his customers basically that he should be sharing the app with.
But the way they get that referral code,
yeah,
the restaurant, after they sign up, they go back to and download the consumer app. They'll be able to put in their same phone number and email, and that is where they will get their referral codes. So yes, they'll be referring. They're a restaurant. In our system, whether you're a consumer or a restaurant, you're all customers. So they will have to get their referral apps by getting the consumer app.
Yeah, so I hope everybody understood that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, Pam likes the idea of getting college students to go out there and solicit. Anytime you can build with more people, you're going to be more successful. That means if you have 5 people, you have 5 times greater people in the market signing up. And if they're doing this daily and they all signed up 1 or 2 people a day, it doesn't take long to get to 100 stores or 200 stores in a market. But also, if you had other people doing the same thing in the market, it doesn't take long to get 400 or 500 restaurants signed up. It's all about positioning each of the groups in your market that I want to work with you. And for example, like Pam up in Seattle, she has probably 1,000 people that have signed up. Now, I don't know if they're Peggy rather. They're not going to all be active, but if you can get a dozen active, those dozen will go to work, and pretty soon, you're going to have a pretty strong market in there with 400 to 500, 600 restaurants fairly quickly. That's what it takes to build in a market. Is a lot of people are saying, oh, I'm going to just get in front of that market before anybody else gets here. Well, the smart money is go get a dozen more people with you to open that market, and each of you will get your market share. The market's too big to worry about, oh, I'm going to get it all. You can still sign up 100 restaurants by yourself. But if you have a bunch of more people, 5, 10, or 15 people working a market with you, you'll get to that 500 to 600 restaurants pretty darn fast. So those are the things you got to think about.
Did you answer my question of the week?
The question of the week.
The question of the week that we got several times. No, was who pays the delivery charge?
Who pays the which part of the delivery? The consumer?
For the delivery driver.
Well, the consumer who orders the product will pay for the driver. So let's say it's a $6 or $8 fee that they end up paying the driver plus commissions. So that goes directly to the driver. And then the restaurant pays us $2. That's how we make our money. We don't make any money on the driver's side. The driver gets 100% of the time, distance, wait time, cancellation fee, and tip.
Did you answer this one about DoorDash?
What about DoorDash?
His restaurateurs are telling him that free DoorDash is free for them. It is free up front.
I've said this 100 times. There's no free lunches in business. So anybody uses the word free, it's not free. It's all built into their pricing model. So I can go free too if I charge an extra $460. I can free that all day long. So you can see where the money's built in. It's all built in where they take it from the consumer, they raise the prices. How about this? What if the consumer could buy at the restaurant price every day out of that same restaurant instead of being marked up 30, 40%? What do you think the consumer is going to do when he finds out he's been paying 30, 40% more from the same restaurant? And that goes straight to Uber Eats or Postmates, all those guys. That's why they love this business. And we love it too, because we're going to come in and wreak havoc on it. Look, it's only going to take a while. I can go back and give you a demonstration after demonstration. When I started Home Club, nobody thought big box retailers in the home improvement business could survive. 110,000 square feet. We had to do 10 times the volume as a normal store would do it at 40,000 square feet. And we did that. People didn't understand the leverage you get on a pricing model. It takes time because you're breaking old habits. But when you see a markup of $460 in a day off of 50, probably deliveries or whatever it is in a day, then you're talking about some serious money. Over time, the restaurant knows it's getting hurt. Over time, when the consumer gets exposed to this, they know they're getting hurt. The restaurant's not going to, the consumer's not going to pay another 30, 40% if he knows he can get the same product. So what we have to do is encourage the restaurant to, hey, keep your prices in line as if they were in your store and sell more product through delivery. That's how it'll work. The demand will go up if the prices are right. There's tons of studies. I just did a PowerPoint presentation. There's a lot of white papers out there on it. Over 30% of the customers will not even shop or not buy online on delivery right now because they feel like they get gouged. That's 30% of the people. There's another 70% of the people that do not want to do business with third-party carriers. We're not a third-party carrier because we don't take the money, okay? We are just a pickup and delivery service for the restaurant. That's all we are. And also we help the consumer by keeping a low price to get deliveries to them.
Did you answer Meredith's question about the restaurateur becoming a marketer?
I don't know.
Okay. She says, is there a way for the restaurateur to pay the marketer rate to get more commission from his referrals? Yes, Meredith, because we just said that the restaurant goes in through the consumer app and they get their referral links from the consumer app. So while they're in that consumer app, there's going to be a little box right below on that refer and earn tab. So it's got refer a consumer, refer a driver, and refer a restaurant. And then below that, it is going to say become a marketer. And so they would just click on that, and that's where they would pay to become a marketer. We are in testing right now. I'm hoping that's going to be up on Monday.
Or Tuesday.
But the thing to know about the marketer is you will be charged at the time of sign up. So if you're a side hustle marketer, it will be $39.99 at that time, and then every 30 days. And then if you're a pro marketer, it will be $99.99 at that time,
right,
and then every 30 days.
Yeah. So let me answer a question for Noel. He had a question about how long does it take for a driver to get paid? So let me explain this to you. There's two sides of our business. So on the driver side, where we issue the driver their own merchant account. So when they go for a delivery, so that delivery fee that the consumer pays, so like I said, it's $8 or $10 and a tip, whatever it might be, that money goes directly to the driver. The driver gets their own merchant account. We do not get in between the driver and their money. So that money flows directly into their account. They could get paid every 3 or 4 or 5 hours, or for sure they get paid daily. Okay, so they will be getting money every 12 to 15 hours on a daily basis. If they need it faster, we are going to have a program that they can request it if they want it right away, and it costs them 50 cents. So let's say they had $40 on their account and they didn't want to wait for 10 or 12 hours for it to show up, they could pay 50 cents and they'll send it to them. So that gets paid daily, and it's, right then. There's no real waiting time. The other side of the business, which is the commissionable side for the subscription fees and or other kinds of commissions. So that's different. There's 8 days in the rear on some and 21 days in the rears on some also. So it's outlined in documents in the back office. So that's how you get paid on that side of the business. And the reason there's a delay, people will try to game the system, and they could do chargebacks. They could do all kinds of things. So we want to get everybody paid as quickly as possible. Those are commissions. Those 8 days in the rears. And then on some of it, it's going to be 21 days in the rears.
Okay, Blue Diamond. Can I pay for the first 90 days for the restaurant myself? So Blue Diamond, I don't know if you're confused, but there's no 90 days. So it's like you pay the $1, and then when the market opens, you pay the $148.99. And then that is activation. That's a one-time charge. So there's no 90 days. And then they can decide to be a member
or a non-member.
Or a non-member. The membership is yearly, and that's $99.99. And then if they don't want to be a member, so yeah, if you want to pay their activation fee, you want to make some kind of a deal, put your credit card in, it's totally up to you.
Yeah.
Business cards. Ken, go to the Trip Gear store, or we have the TripDelivers logo in your back office, and you can go take that.
Yeah, you can download that in your back office. It's under marketing tools, the logo. Hold on just a second. Is anyone having any pushback with restaurants knowing that other restaurants will be profiting from them? I haven't heard anybody, but I mean, that's not to say that somebody might not think of that or have that question. I think the thing is, you guys are getting too cerebral about some of this stuff. You guys need to just lighten up and go call on a restaurant and sell them. It's pretty easy. It's just like everybody was complaining about signing up as a driver. And I listened to that. We were going to change the flow. I went in and signed up. Literally, I told you, less than 5 minutes. Didn't have a problem.
I made him do it himself. So I could tell you guys, it was so easy, Bob could do it.
Yeah.
So he did it all by himself. I didn't help at all. And so we were planning on changing, because every time we make a change, other things have to wait. Like right now, the marketer has been pushed back a little bit because we had to make these changes on the restaurant flow, which is fine. But the driver flow, once it was so easy, Bob could do it.
I said, no, we're not changing anything because it's just too easy. I don't know how you can make it any easier.
Right.
So
will the pro marketer qualify for stock options just like a driver?
We have a stock option plan. We have not announced the new one. As we start to open markets, we will announce a new plan. I'm not going to make it easy for people to get stock options because of a lot of things that we're doing internally. You were talking about maybe doing a public offering here pretty soon. We just completed a 2-year audit from the company. It's all PCOB qualified. So they're certified audits. So we've been doing a lot of stuff internally. But yeah, we will have a stock option plan. It's already been approved. Actually, it was approved 2 years ago. We still have a significant number of shares that were authorized that we can give out. And we also have 2,000 option holders right now in the company. A lot of those option holders, if they don't go to work at some point, will lose those options though.
So Ron saying he just got his flyer. He's ready to rock and roll. He wants to know if he's going to get a t-shirt from the gear store. I thought you might want to tell him about the guys last night.
Oh yeah. So this is crazy. So a good friend of mine, most of you guys probably know, some of you know that I race boats, ocean racing, but I also raced motorcycles at one point in my life, and have been a motorcycle enthusiast ever since I was a kid. And a good friend of mine is a world champion speedway racer back in the day. He's a little bit younger than me, but we're close. But he was just a world-class world champion, 2-time world champion. And he lives here in Vegas, and he and I have been friends, God, I don't know, 35 years, maybe 40 years. Anyway, I got a call from him last night, and I was supposed to see him today, but my eyes swelled up, so I just took a pass. I said, hey, I got to take a pass. But so when he called, I was going to tell him on the phone I was going to take a pass. He said, hey, Bob, he says, I'm sitting here with a couple of guys that have Trip t-shirts, not Trip t-shirts, but Trip golf shirts on. And I said, what are they doing? He says, they're calling on restaurants, man. And I said, you got to be down on Fremont Street with tens of thousands of other people. And one of the guys was named Darius. I can't remember his last name. And then Amy had been in contact with Darius just a couple days before, just going over some of the things he needed. So they were out there working last night. So it was really great to hear that. And so he told them that, hey, I'm a friend of Bob's. And he says, I'll call him right now. And I think they were shocked that they actually did call me right then on the spot. So the world is small, and it gets smaller as you start building out these companies. But if you guys get very aggressive and start strategically thinking and not thinking about how to satisfy a restaurant by having some other restaurant sign up with us, strategically think about the amount of money that you're going to save. First question you want to do is when you start talking to them, how would you like to save some money? Because our business model will save you a lot of money daily. And then ask him how much you spend in a day in deliveries. And if he says, I'm doing 50 deliveries a day or 20 deliveries or whatever it might be, you can do the math pretty quickly. And then you know how much you're going to save them. And that's a meaningful number to people. But you've got to think strategically.
Jim is asking, can he still become an influencer?
No, we do not have any influencers. Look, the influencer was created because a lot of people came to the company and they've gone through the tough time with us. Same thing with legacy. We've talked about adding to the legacy side of the business. There's a lot of you that want to do that. We haven't focused on it over the last, it's been coming up time and time again. We have not focused on it. Our focus right now is to get everything done this week that we need to get done, which is get the marketer program out there, get the flow for the restaurant done, and some of the other things that you don't see going on in the background that are important that we're working on. But all that stuff is targeted to be finished up this week. And then we'll go to phase 2 on some of the things that, the bells and whistles. For example, you'd like to be noticed when somebody signs up under you on either a text message or email. We're going to have that in play. And, those are on phase 2. Those are not showstoppers. Showstoppers are when you can't work. And right now, everything we have does work. It's in there. So for the ones that want to get, if you ever seen my signature on my email, it says, be bold, be brilliant. Okay. And that's what you have to be. If you want to be brilliant, you have to be bold. You can't just wait for something to happen. If you're waiting, guess what? The world's going to pass you by in a heartbeat. If you want to make something out of yourself and you want to create wealth for yourself and your family, it's here for you to do that. I mean, if you don't believe me, get a hold of Patrick Santiago. He's got a complete layout in a calculator. If I had this many restaurants and they did this many orders a day, how much money I'll make this year or 12 months or whatever. It's pretty phenomenal what he put together. And he's got an easy number of math that he works with. That's why he's successful already signing up restaurants. I mean, he was down here for a week. We spent a bunch of time together, he and Noel, and they said they're going to go light it up. And later that night, they started to sign up restaurants. They went out here and started to sign up restaurants. So it's not that difficult, but you got to get moving. You got to make action.
Hector,
yeah.
One last question.
Yeah, Hector.
It's a good one, Hector. Can restaurants have 2 different prices on food? One price for clients that eat inside the restaurant and a different price for trip pickup?
That's what they do now, and that's what's controlled by the other delivery companies. If you look at their agreements, they have sole right to say what prices they're going to charge their customers. In other words, Uber Eats, Postmates, all these guys control the pricing model of all these restaurants. And our answer is we're not controlling anybody's price.
They can do whatever they want.
The restaurant, if they're a member with us, they can add in the $2 pickup fee. We'll let them add that in as a service fee. So they're not out of pocket the $2, but that's only for members. There's a lot of little bells and whistles that we'll be coming online with. But what you're trying to do is get the cost of food back in order instead of, how can you just give your business over to another business to run? That's exactly what every restaurant, you read every survey, every restaurant owner hates the delivery guys. They hate them because they're screwing their business up. But, they can't do without it. If you're doing 50 to 60 orders a day or 75 orders a day, and let's say the average order is $40, you can see how much money the restaurant's making on a gross, but they're getting hammered on 30, 40% of the order. And they're controlling the pricing. Patrick San Diego, 2 restaurants in Las Vegas.
Yeah, he signed them up to it.
Yeah. So anyway, I think we're going to wind it up right now.
You want Lucy to come say hi?
Oh, yeah. Here's my little girl. She was at boot camp for 6 weeks, and the big boy was at boot camp with her. And they're supposed to learn to be not so barking.
Well, we just had groceries delivered.
Yeah.
And they just had to,
I don't think they can see. Oh, maybe you can see. Oh, you can see Chance. That's the big boy. So anyway, everybody, listen, it was great catching up with you. I will get on the videos this week with YouTube and give you some updates on Tuesday and probably Thursday. And then we'll do Saturday next week. We just got to keep pushing ahead. You guys are making great progress. I congratulate every single one of you that have been out there working and beating on the street and getting it going, because I understand it's time consuming and you gotta get ready for all the questions.
And then training this week, Shanna and Evelyn will be on Monday and Thursday in English. Monday's going to be, I believe, they're going to go through a whole walkthrough of what's a consumer, what's a driver, what's a marketer, So you can bring new people to that. You can get a little refresher there. And then Tuesday and Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, will be Oscar and Brasilia with the Spanish.
Yeah, and you should start using these trainings to get people on board with you to sign up as a driver or a restaurateur, whoever it might be. If you want to start building your business, it's all here. But I mean, the reason Patrick and Noel are fired up is when you see the calculator, and these guys are really, really smart marketers. They know what they're doing. I have to tell you, I spent a couple of days with them here in Las Vegas. And I was really impressed with their thought process, how they think, how they want to go to market, how they're going to build marketing materials. And they didn't wait to have marketing materials. They just went out and started signing up restaurants. That's all they did. So they're fearless, and that's what it takes. So anyway, I just want to thank all you guys. I wish everybody the greatest success. I appreciate all the guys that hung in there. Joe Jones, I see his LOL. So, and Mike Jones, thanks to your family. Hey guys, listen, you guys have a super day. I'll catch up with you on Tuesday, and have a wonderful weekend.
It was good.
Yeah.